Marker Maestro Pro is more than just an update of the original Marker Maestro. It's pretty much a scrap it and redo. It's been rewritten totally from the ground up with a much more responsive interface and easy and quick editing capabilities. There's still a few drawbacks, which we'll discuss later, but for now, let's take a look at how you can use this intuitively and effectively. The original Marker Maestro was a script. Marker Maestro Pro is an extension, so it's in a completely different place than before. So we launched the extension by clicking on Window, Extensions, Marker Maestro Pro. If you don't see it in your extension submenu, quit out of After Effects and check the README file for installation instructions. Honestly, the easiest way to do it is to use aescripts plus AE Plugins Manager, or the ZXP installer, also from aescripts. The links are in the README file. So, launch the extension, and we can see the simplified interface. We have the name of the comp we're looking at here, which is important, and I'll tell you about that in a bit. All of the comp's markers are laid out in a table with the label, the layer number, the endpoint, the duration, and the comment. You can stretch the window, and the comment column will stretch to fill up the space so you can easily read those long comments. This is a dockable panel, and I prefer to keep it up where I can see it, so we put it over here and take a look at the layout. The marker table is sortable by each column. You can sort it ascending or descending. And it is searchable. Search looks only in the comments field, so you're not going to search for index numbers or anything like that. Each field in each of these rows is editable pretty much instantaneously as soon as you tab to the next field or hit return. It updates the comp. I'm going to show this in a split screen so you can see what's happening in real time. So let's take a look at this comp marker labeled Start Talking. First, select it, and then you can change the label, the row, and you'll notice that the comp markers are labeled C. If you want to move a marker from a layer to the comp, you can either type in C or 0. Both will do the trick. The endpoint, the duration, and obviously the comment. And it's that fast. Now, down at the bottom of the interface, I've added a simple toolbar that I hope is super intuitive. You can add a marker by clicking the Add button, which moves the focus immediately to the comment field, so adding markers goes a lot faster than adding the marker then double-clicking it. It'll add a layer marker on the layer that is selected, or it'll add a comp marker if nothing is selected. Delete the marker by clicking the trash can, and then undo with this button because I didn't really want to get rid of this marker. I like this marker. You can undo with a key command, but the interface won't update. This is a real but necessary limitation of extensions in After Effects. So I've added the undo button to undo and update the interface. You can copy markers by clicking this button. You can paste it on one layer by selecting the layer and clicking the paste button, or you can paste it onto many layers by selecting the layers and then pressing the paste button. Or deselect all the layers and paste the marker as a comp marker. You can also select multiple comps in the project window, click the paste button, and Marker Maestro Pro adds comp markers in the same place in each of the selected comps. You can set the work area endpoint to correspond with a marker's endpoint with this button. And the work area out point with this button. And you can set the whole work area, but first you need to select more than one marker, which you do as you would in any other application. Select one, then Control or Command click the next marker to select more than one, and then click the Set Work Area button, and it sets the work area using those two markers as boundaries. If you select one marker and then shift-click another, it'll select all the layers in between. but you can still use the Set Work Area button because it'll only look at the first and last marker to set the comp's work area. Okay, you can copy and paste the selected markers using the buttons in the toolbar the exact same way that you would with a single marker. But how do you batch edit all those markers at the same time? Right-click the markers and a custom context menu appears that lets you change the label color, change the layer that the markers appear on, and just know that if any of the markers have the same endpoint, there will only be one left, right? They can't occupy the same place at the same time. It's kind of like time travel. The endpoint, the duration, the comments, and setting the work area. Also, there's another option in the context menu that only works with a single selected layer, which is the protected region. This is a toggle, and when it's on, you can see the whole row turns blue, so it's easy to see which markers are protected. So, those are the features. Now the drawbacks. There's no mechanism to allow the extension to automatically update when anything happens outside of the extension. It's the same thing as the undo button. If you undo outside of the extension, or do anything outside of the extension for that matter, the extension has no way of knowing what's going on. For example, you can edit a marker in the standard non-efficient After Effects way, and the change is not reflected in the Maestro Pro interface. You can change the comp, and you see Maestro Pro still thinks that it's looking at the previous comp. There is a way for Maestro Pro to refresh the interface every 10 seconds or 1 second, but that would take up a lot of resources that frankly would be kind of unnecessary, and it could potentially disrupt your workflow. So as a workaround, I added a refresh button up here by the comp name. Remember, I said that this was important. You got to keep an eye on the comp name because you might start editing the wrong markers. The refresh button updates the interface just like a web browser. And so that's pretty much Maestro Pro. I hope you find this utility as useful as I do. We can finally manage markers in an efficient way in After Effects.